Welcome back to the O Hockey Show. Now, usually I wear my nice suit jacket and look all professional because I'm the nicely dressed, dapper host of hockey shows. But it is freaking hot out today, and I am dying in my room. So I decided not to do that because I was sweating to death every time I try to do this. So I'm not going to. I apologize. But moving on to saying that I hope you're all having an amazing day today, and I hope I can entertain you just a little bit by you clicking on this video, which thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. It brings a tiny bit of joy to me every time I see one number, when it goes to the number 3 to 4, or it goes from 20 to 21, or it goes from 100 to 101, whatever the little tiny increment is, the little tiny bit of success that I see when I check my little numbers on my screen and see that someone has decided to click on it. I hope you know that it brings a little joy to me, and I hope I bring just a little joy to you. So thank you for doing that, because let me tell you, I've got some stupid news yesterday, and I'm not very happy about it. So whatever, let's forget all about it. I hope you're having a better time than, well, actually, I'm not having a bad time. Forget it, that's all nonsense. Let's jump into why you clicked on this video, and that is the NHL 23 top 10 rated centers for the upcoming game. So let's start off with the number 1 rated guy who I agree with, which is Conor Mcdavid at 95. Now, what I don't understand, which I think a lot of people don't, is why don't they just go back to the times of, like, let's pick the best guy and then rank everybody off of him. So, like, if McDavid's the best, make him a 99, and then everyone is, like, 98 if you're this, and then blah, 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 down the list, right? I don't know why they do that, because what is the point? Why can't there just be a 99? Maybe it's because if they pick a best player, then it's like they're like choosing who the best player is, and then maybe people would get mad about it. So, but they're still choosing who the best player is, but it's like, well, there's room to grow. Maybe McKinnon can grow better than him. So it's just an interesting thing. And another thing that I think we can all agree upon is that why don't they go back to the times of how 2K does it with their baseball games, and also how they did it with old NHL games, that what really mattered was the individual stats, not the person's overall. It shouldn't matter what your overall should be. It should be like what you individually bring to the table. If you're not picking up Alex Ovechkin to be the best guy to put on your penalty kill and whatever, you're picking Alex Ovechkin to be the best goal scorer of all time. So I don't know why they don't go, because I remember back in the first NHL game I had, Alex Ovechkin was still getting 50 goals a year and winning Maurice Richard trophies. But he was rated like 86 overall, but he had like 99 overall shot. Why don't we go back to those days? Because I'm not picking up Ovechkin to be my penalty killer. I'm picking him up to be getting me 50 goals. I don't care what his defensive stats are and what makes him a 92. I only care what makes him the number 1 goal scorer. So I wish we could go back to those days. But anyways, that is all just a little bit of nonsense that I want to throw at you. So let's jump to what actually matters today, which is that McDavid's a 95, which I agree with. I think overall as a player, Conor McDavid probably is the best overall. When you talk speed, skill, playmaking, just scoring, every defense, when it comes to the best, McDavid can't be beat in each. I mean, okay, maybe not in every category, but overall, I would agree McDavid he's the number 1 rated guy in the game, as he should be, and also of the center. So 95 is fine for me. But number 2 is Austin Matthews, which is kind of where my argument is okay, who cares if he's a 94? Would you agree that Matthews is a 94? I personally don't think so. But is he a number 1 or 2 goal scorer in the NHL? Yes. That's what should matter, not that he's a 94 overall player. I don't think he's a 94 overall. I think he's a 94 goal scorer, and that's what should matter. But he's a 94. He's the second best rated centerman in the game, which, personally for me, I don't think he's a number 2 centerman. I think he's just a number 1 goal scorer. I don't think as a center, he's really, I wouldn't say he's the second best center in the NHL. Personally, I don't think so. I would put a few other guys on this above him there. But Matthews at 94, I think is fine. I think it's fine, but I put a little minus. Blue, okay, green means I'm good with the number. Blue is I'm okay with the number, but it could be changed. And purple is this color. It's kind of hard to tell, but purple is like I don't know, and red is I disagree. For him, I have a 94, which is okay, but I feel like it could go down because it shouldn't matter what his overall is. I don't think he's a number 2 center. I don't think he's a 94 overall, but I do think he's an amazing goal scorer. So I think a 94 is fine to put him at in the game. At number 3, we've got Nate McKinnon. Now, the guy that just got the huge contract extension to be this highest paid player in the NHL, ridiculous. Now, if you follow this channel, which I don't know how many people actually follow, but if you are following along, you know how I feel about Nathan McKinnon. If you don't, which is probably most people watching this, is that Nathan McKinnon to me really isn't the best. Now, I don't think he's definitely not worth being the number 1 paid guy in the NHL. But Nathan McKinnon to me, 94 overall is fine. I guess is he a number 3 center in the NHL? Sure. I would definitely put him in the top 3. But number 3 behind Matthews is kind of weird. I feel like I'd put him above Matthews and Matthews below. But Nathan McKinnon at 94, I'm okay with. But you know what? Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with McKinnon at 94. At number 4, Leon Draisaitl is 93, which I think is fine. I think another guy who is an overall great player, Leon Draisaitl is a 93, is fine. He is more of a goal scorer than McDavid and McKinnon. I mean, it shows he got 55. Like, Leon Draisaitl is amazing. When talking on an overall player, I feel like Leon Draisaitl is a great candidate to be a 93. I would feel like they're 95 and 93. Conor Mcdavid being the number 1 guy, he's like an A++. Leon Draisaitl is an A+ player, and that's how I feel about it. So I agree with Draisaitl being, is he a number 4 in the NHL? Sure, I could see that. Number 4 centerman, top centerman in the NHL. Draisaitl number 4, I could see that. But at number 5, I disagree with the number, but not really the placement. And Crosby at 93 is just weird to me. I don't think Crosby to me is a 90 player. A 90 overall player is good. I think a 90 overall NHL games are guys that can like have those breakout years where they lead the NHL and they're like top 3 in points, but then sometimes they kind of fade in the background. They're like in the teens and tops in points. So for me, that's kind of how Crosby is nowadays. Like, he could break into the top 10 or he could be out of it. And for me, a 93 in the game should be always in the top 10. And that's just not how Crosby is anymore. He had 84 points in 94 games. I think if you scale it out, he doesn't make it into the top 10, but he would make it into the 90s in points. So Crosby at a 93 is just odd to me. He's not 93 worthy, and there's guys below him that I would put above him, and 93 just isn't right for me. So 90, I think it should be a 90. Another one that confuses me at number 6 is Alexander Barkov. 92 is fine. I feel like it's okay for him to be a 92, but I don't see him as a 92 player. To me, he's a 90. For me, Barkov is a 91. Now, I know it's like, well, who cares? It's one number difference. But in my mind, like, certain numbers in NHL games kind of, like, have a certain, like, stigma to them, like a stereotype kind of, where it's like, I can tell you, like, what type of player each of these people are when I play these games. And Barkov at a 92 players should be, like, running house. And Barkov, to me, is an amazing, amazing player, a 200-foot player if there ever was one. But a 91 overall guy is a guy that's like, he is top, but he's not the top. But 92 is kind of like he is the top. And Barkov just isn't that to me. 92 and up to me is like superstar status. And Barkov just isn't superstar status. He's an all-star, not a superstar. And then we move on to Steven Stamkos, where 90 overall, it might sound contradictory to me because I always say I don't go off of one good season, but Stamkos has been so good for so long and just coming off 106 points last year. I think he had 41 goals or something like that. Stamkos at 90 overall is fine because once again, a 90 in the game is like he's the type of player that he could be in the top 10, but he also could be right outside of it. And that is how I feel like Stamkos is nowadays. He could be in the top 10 like he was this year, or he could be right outside of it, which he usually is. So I like 90 overall for Stamkos. It's a good placement. But now we go to Malkin, who's a 90, which I'm like, what? Evgeny Malkin at a 90? I know he's almost a point per game this season, but he only played like half the year. Do you really think Evgeny Malkin is a 90 player? Is he the number 8 best center in the NHL? I don't think so. I do not agree with that one at all. He should not even be on the top 10. Number 9 is Sebastian Ajo, who at 89 overall, I think is a good number for him. I think it should be more of like an 8. The thing about the NHL games, right, is that they adjust the values throughout when the season starts and as it goes through. So me personally, Sebastian Ajo at an 89 is a good number because it allows them to, like, if he has 20 points in, like, 15 games, I could see them raising him to a 90 or something, right? Like a 91. But if he has, like, 9 points in the first 20 games, I could see them lowering him to, like, an 87. So I feel like an 89 is good for him because he's going to grow as a player, but maybe he doesn't. Maybe he stalls a little bit. So I like 89 for Sebastian Ajo. There's room for improvement for him, and I like 89. And Patrice Bergeron at 89 is strange to me because Bergeron no longer to me, I like the values change throughout the year, right? They can adjust them. And so Patrice Bergeron is one I could definitely see them moving. And for me, Bergeron's no longer an 89. I think he could play up to an 89, but I think off of his last season and how he's getting older, I feel like an 87 or 88 would have been fine. And I know it's like you're picking hairs, Owen, and you're like, that's like 2 points or 1 point value difference. But there is a stigma. To me, an 89 is a guy that can grow into like a 90 to 91. But Patrice Bergeron, to me, is not a guy that can grow into that. He's going to grow down, if anything. And if he does grow up, he's only going to grow up to an 89, I feel like, is his ceiling. So for me, I would have rather put him at like an 87 or 88. But the thing that confuses me the most is some of the guys that aren't on this list. Guys like Mika Zibanejad, especially. Guys like Robert Thomas. John Tavares isn't who he's himself really anymore. But I would definitely pick Tavares above guys like Malkin or Bergeron. Mark Scheifele really didn't have the best of seasons, but I still feel like I would have put him above guys like Evgeny Malkin. Potential guys like Matt Duchene had a great year. Guys like JT Miller had a great year. Now, would I put those guys in the top 10 in the centers in the NHL? Probably not, but I also don't think I would put Malkin or Bergeron there anymore. Maybe not even Sebastian Ajo. I like Ajo a lot, and I think he definitely will be a top 10 guy in the future, but at this current moment, I don't think I would. I would say I would put him in like 11 or 12, like just outside, so he can grow into that. Guys like Robert Thomas as well, guys like him. Robert Thomas had an amazing season, but no one talks about him that much, and people like Bergeron get all the attention. And even guys like Nazem Kadri, who I cannot stand. But and he's definitely not a top 10 guy in the NHL, but just going off of last season, I'd rather have him than guy like maybe not that. But that is my rundown of the NHL 23's top 10 rated centers in the for the game. I don't know what I'm going to go off there. So I guess if you like this video, please pick up your free subscription by hitting that red subscribe button. If you like this video, leave a like, not a dislike, but go down below to the comment section and tell me how stupid I am for deciding what my opinions are on this. Tell me, how stupid am I? Tell me down below how stupid I am. So tell me all that down below, and I guess until next time, I was not your dapperly dressed host, Owen. Today, I'm just comfortably clothed because it's super hot. So I'm in your comfortably clothed host Owen. I hope you're having an amazing day. Too sweet, and ta-ta for now.